Good evening. The Honorable Kathleen McIntyre will lead us in the prayer. Would you all rise?
Good evening, everyone. In light and memory of the tragic anniversary of September 11th, I'd like to offer a prayer for our country. And as we remember a tragic day, we also remember so many who rushed the way into danger when so many were fleeing, and so many who were motivated that day to give their lives to service. Almighty God, bless our nation and make it true to the ideas of freedom and justice. Guard us from war, from fire and wind, from compromise, fear, and confusion. Be close to our country and our statesmen and stateswomen to give them vision and courage as they ponder decisions affecting peace and the future of the world. Make us all more deeply aware of our heritage, realizing not only our rights, but also our duties and responsibilities as citizens. Make this great land and all its people know clearly your will, so that they may fulfill the destiny ordained for us in the salvations of the nations and restoring all things in God. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Councilwoman McIntyre. We'd like to welcome you to the 1,880th regular meeting of the Livonia City Council. This is a voting meeting. Minutes of this meeting will be approved at our next regular meeting, which will be held on Monday, September 23rd of this year. Will the clerk please take the roll?
Councilmember McIntyre.
Here.
Councilmember Meekin.
Here.
Vice President Jolly.
Present.
Councilmember Kritzman.
Present.
Councilmember Barr.
Here.
Councilmember White.
Here.
President Toy.
Here. Now, if I do have someone to move the 1,879th regular meeting minutes of the City Council, which was held on Monday, August the 26th of this year.
So moved.
Moved by
Support.
Councilwoman White, supported by Councilwoman McIntyre. Would the clerk take the roll on the minutes of the 26th, please?
Councilmember McIntyre.
Aye.
Councilmember Meekin.
Aye.
Vice President Jolly.
Aye.
Councilmember Kritzman.
Aye.
Councilmember Barr.
Aye.
Councilmember White.
Aye.
President Toy.
Aye. That's a unanimous vote, I believe. Correct, Madam Clerk? Thank you. Okay, Council, it's your turn at the moment for announcements, tributes, or any recognitions. Yes, go right ahead.
I'd like to wish a happy birthday to my youngest son, Trey, who turned 9 years old this week. We had a fun weekend with him. It was actually Friday, his birthday, and happy birthday, Trey. We love you very much.
Great, great. Yes, Councilwoman McIntyre.
Today, when I was over at the Senior Center, and before I forget, I'd like to remind everyone that the Senior Center's Las Vegas party is this coming Saturday, which I believe is the 14th, from 1 to 5 p.m., and tickets are still available for $20. But when I was over there today, visiting with some people and following up on some things, I met a new resident to to Livonia. His name is Kurt. He lived in Livonia for many, many years, and then 33 years ago, due to family issues, he moved away to Farmington. And this week, he has relocated to Livonia. He's 94 years old. He has bought a home that's 2 doors away from his son. And what's really astounding, in addition to Kurt being a very healthy and vibrant 94 years old, he is a survivor of Auschwitz and has the tattoo on his arm that shows that very difficult time in his life. He was 69 pounds when he was liberated. He lost his sisters and most of his family. And just a remarkable man. Would like to welcome him back to Livonia. We know that he's going to be very happy here. But just a good reminder of the things that we take for granted today, freedom and living our lives generally free from fear. And welcome to Livonia, Kurt. We're glad to have you back, and thank you for all you've done for humanity.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Very touching. If there's no one else, I'd like to announce one of my family members that has lived an awful long time. My father's going to turn 92 on the 17th, and he welcomes all your gifts. Registered, yeah, probably at, like Walmart or somewhere. No, but anyhow, I'm teasing. But seriously, he'll be 92 years young on the 17th. Also on the 15th, which is also Sunday, there's an old-fashioned picnic over at Stamowski Park, and Mr. Joyner and company have put that on and always worked very hard on that event with corn and nice community event, a good cross-section of folks. So go on out to Samowski Park, which is located by the Y there on Stark Road. That's from 1 to 4. In the library, we're sponsoring a survivor that was human trafficked out of Livonia, Human Trafficking 101, and the Red Flags, and that will be held in the Civic Center Library from 1 to 3. So I wanted to give you a heads up on those couple things as well. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce to you our state senator, and she would like to share a few words with us. Yes.
Thank you, President Toy. My name is Dana Polhanke. I'm the senator for the great city of Livonia and also Plymouth, Northville, Canton, and Wayne. I live here in Livonia. I live in Old Rosedale Gardens with my husband, Jim, and my stepdaughter, Jessica, who went to Franklin, graduated last year, and we just shipped her off to Eastern last week. So we're empty nesters. I do know the city council members to varying degrees. Laura's Flower Shop did my wedding. Jim Jolly and I have mutual friends. And some of you I've even spent time with in a 300-degree fire chamber and fire ops. So I'm here just to remind you that I am your partner in Lansing. I've heard loud and clear from organizations like the Council of Western Wayne, don't pass a law without an appropriation, and we need more revenue sharing. So that's always in the back of my mind as I think of how we can help cities like Livonia at the state level. I do want to hopefully I gave my card out to any council members who want my number in Lansing. And also I would say to the audience and anyone watching on the TV, it is 517-373-7350. That's 517-373-7350. We're here to help you, and we will. And so thank you so much for having me here tonight. I very much appreciate it.
Well, thank you. We appreciate what you do for us in Lansing. Thank you so much. Okay, next we have the Honorable Brian Meakin that is going to present a tribute. Is our Churchill friends here? Yes. Would you like to approach the podium, sir? Or by the microphone there? Yes.
We are lucky to have Principal Kevin Etu with us this evening, and I have a resolution for him. Winston Churchill High School will be celebrating 50 years of Charger Nation on September 27th, 2019. Winston Churchill High School was founded in 1969, also known as the Churchill Chargers. They employ 105 professional staff members, enroll over 1,400 students. Winston Churchill High School offers students opportunity to demonstrate their abilities by qualifying in the math, science, computer, and creative and performing arts programs, the CAPA program. Accelerated courses, advanced placement courses. In addition, there are over 28 study clubs, or student clubs, 24 interscholastic sports, along with various charity activities for students at all grade levels. Whereas Winston Churchill High School began the Churchill Athletic Patrons, the CAP program, at an athletic booster organization in spring of 2001 to assist, enhance, and help promote the athletic programs at their school. Whereas Winston Churchill High School is known for their strong athletic, musical, and theatrical programs and are proud to showcase their new state-of-the-art Performing Arts Center. Now, therefore, I, Dennis K. Wright, Mayor of the City of Livonia, County of Wayne, State of Michigan, do hereby take this opportunity to join with the Livonia City Council to congratulate and commend Churchill High School on their 50th anniversary and to honor and congratulate their scholastic and athletic achievements through the years that they have made the school an integral part of this community. So thank you very much, Kevin.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Who was a Charger? Any of you? No? Oh, Taramina was a Charger.
Is a charter.
Is a Charger? Well done. Well done. Well, thank you for coming in. Please send all good wishes
You
to
can say a few words if you'd like to.
all of our
We'll
friends
give you
as
the
well. Yes.
microphone for
Go
showing
ahead,
up this evening.
please. Yes.
It should be noted the favorite club among students is our grilled cheese club. So the line's a mile long every week, so always a favorite. But thank you very much on behalf of Livonia Public Schools, Superintendent Oquist, the Churchill community on the recognition of Churchill High School in 50 years. It's been a wonderful partnership with the city of Livonia, and we look forward to all that, continuing in the future. We have a wonderful celebration on September 27th, Friday, home game against Franklin High School, and we'll have a open house and a ceremony in the auditorium. So I welcome all to stop by and see everything that's been done the last few years at Churchill High School. It's a wonderful facility, wonderful community, and we look forward to the next 50. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Clerk Nash and I were over there for your robotics event
Oh,
on a
wonderful.
Saturday, and it was awesome.
Isn't it incredible?
Very
Yeah.
incredible, yes.
Wonderful program. Glad you
Yes,
stopped
thank
by.
you. Well, thank you again. Okay, Councilman Meakin.
Thank you, Madam President. We also had a few retirees the past 2 months. One of my good friends, Keith Bowe, was a fire marshal who's retiring after 25 years of service. And in August, Stephen Mackey, building maintenance supervisor, is retiring from DPW with 32 years of service to the city of Livonia. We congratulate them both and wish them well.
Absolutely. And then we have our city treasurer. She has some good news for us. To some of us, perhaps all of us. No, I don't, whatever.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I am here just to remind our residents that taxes are due on Monday, September 16th for our summer taxes. So this is just a friendly reminder. If you haven't paid them yet, please feel free to stop on in this whole week or on Monday, or drop them off in the red box that's outside that we take your payments in. But again, just a friendly reminder to let everyone know that the city taxes are due on Monday, September 16th. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Okay, everybody heard that loud and clear, right? Yep, okay. All right, I'm gonna introduce our department heads before we get into audience communication very shortly here. So, to my right, we have Paul Bernier, who's our city attorney. To his right or left, that is Susan Nash, who is our city clerk. And across the way here, Todd Zelinsik, who is our city engineer. And then Mark Taramina, who is our planning director and a former Churchill alum. And also Judy Preby, who is our director of legislative affairs for all of us in our office. Thank you all for everything you do for all of us and in these meetings. And then you just heard from our clerk, our chief is out there, our legislative director for the mayor's office, Mr. Dave Varga, I can see as well, and those of you that are joining us for our meeting tonight. We are going to have 3 public hearings, and I need to read those to you real quick, so they're legal and official. A public hearing for the following item will be held on Wednesday, October 2nd of this year at 7 p.m. in this auditorium, 33,000 Civic Center Drive, Livonia, Michigan. This is the proposed annual budget for the city of Livonia for fiscal year ending November 30th of 2020. And the public hearing is required by Act 5, Public Act 1982 in connection with truth in taxation hearing as adopted by the City Council at the regular meeting held on August 26th of this year pursuant to Council Resolution 297-19. And again, that is on October 2nd. Also on October 2nd is a public hearing held at 7 o'clock here in the auditorium at 33,000 Civic Center Drive, Livonia, Michigan. Petition 2019070106, submitted by Tissio Architects, Inc., requesting a rezone a portion of a shopping center located on the west side of Middle Belt Road between Clarita Avenue and 7 Mile Road in the northeast quarter of Section 11 from P parking to C1 local business. Again, that's at 7 o'clock here in the auditorium, October 2nd. Also on October 2nd, council and audience, we have a 3rd public hearing, which will be at 7 o'clock here in the auditorium at 33,000 Civic Center Drive, petition 2019060601, submitted by the City Planning Commission pursuant to Council Resolution 163-19 and Section 23.01B of the Livonia zoning ordinances number 543 as amended, proposing to amend subsection 2 of Section 2.10 definition of bed and breakfast establishment of Article 2 to include residences marked and offered for rent online by platforms such as Airbnb, Vrbo, and HomeAway, and other similar websites. And that, again, is on October 22nd, council and others, and so we have 3 public hearings on that evening. We also have new data on items 9 and 10, and there will be an next item at the end of tonight's meeting as well. And if there's no other questions, I'm going to proceed then, and Councilman Meekin, if you would please keep the time of 3 minutes for our audience that would like to speak on anything that's not on the green agenda, please. Good evening. Hi. State your name and address for the record.
Good evening, Honorable Council President and City Council. 9881 Garvette, Rob Donovic. I am the Community Development Vice President for the Livonia JCs, and we want to invite all of the people from the council and anyone in the audience or at home watching to the Livonia JCs Kindness Rally. The Kindness Rally is going to be September 21st from 12 p.m. until 4 p.m. The JCs are a community organization. We like to give back to the community. We do all sorts of different activities, and we are a nonprofit. We focus on just giving back to our city. There's a national organization and chapters all across the state. The Kindness Rally, our thought there is we want to just give back and do kind things for people in the community. So there are teams of people, 4 to 5 people each per group, and we are all going to meet at the Big B Coffee right there at Newburgh and Ann Arbor Road at 12 p.m., and there's going to be different activities. It's a road rally. So 4 or 5 people in one vehicle will go to different destinations that the JCs put on our path, so to speak. And we'll be raking leaves, we'll be giving gifts to people, we'll be helping put bags of groceries away. I mean, there's a lot of different ideas that we've done in past years. So again, if you'd like to participate, get a team together, meet us at the Big B Coffee, September 21st at 12 p.m. And if you want more information, I'll be sitting in the crowd, or go to livoniajcs.org/rally, and you can learn more about the Livonia Kindness Road Rally. Thank you.
Awesome, and I think we have a few former JCs on the council.
There's a couple former JCs, very prominent, well-known JCs. So.
Yes, Councilman Meekin, and who else? Councilman Kritzman?
Yeah.
Yes, are you one too?
Oh, no, I was going to make a joke about Mr. Meekin. I was going to say he could really show people how to put those groceries away and rake the leaves and everything. Wow.
But the city of Livonia has been very, very helpful with the JCs. We've had a good partnership. We want to grow that partnership.
Great.
So if anybody else wants to put a team together, Councilman Meekin, Councilman Kritzman, we'd love to have you guys. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for coming in tonight.
If
Appreciate
Mr.
it.
Meekin gets a team, I'll sign up for the team. Only for Meekin's team.
Only for Meekin's team, all right. All right, we have another gentleman approaching. Good evening. Can you state your name and address for the record, please?
Glenn Moon,
Good evening, Mr.
34461 Wood Street, Livonia. I, City Livonia, Michigan, USA, citizen musician Glenn Moon, born 1958, May 22, made my first performance appearance at Senior Center Livonia Wednesday afternoon dance ballroom dancing class in 1993, substitute for my dad, Benny Moon, playing trumpet. I participated from time to time until 2007, when my dad, who played regularly with bands starting in 1992, original name Melody Men, became band leader. Then I started to participate most Wednesdays. 2016 January, I became band leader, ballroom dancing class instructor after my dad started cancer treatment. During 3 years, 2016, 2017, 2018, I purchased equipment including microphones, cords, stands, speakers specifically for individual use by Senior Center patrons Vocal Pete Reddig and Vocal Don Rohde. I transported equipment including tables, music stands, music folders for 5 musicians whom I regularly gave money in addition to donations from dancer participants. In and out of my house, in and out of Senior Center, stored equipment each week. Preparation involved multiple hours, several days. I rarely received any support or encouragement from Senior Center administration, either regarding publicity, logistics, or distribution edition of Recordings, 2017, July 5, 2018, December 26, and when I was physically challenged by Senior Center patron and my equipment was threatened with destruction by same, Senior Center administration did nothing except take away 15 minutes from my setup time at noon, 12 p.m. on Wednesday. I made extraordinary personal and professional effort as citizen volunteer to make Wednesday from 1 p.m. until 3:30 p.m. something special for Livonia citizens to be proud of. Senior Center Livonia has become, through Facebook musician page Melody Band, www.facebook.com/CityLivonia, internationally recognized first-class Livonia tradition.
Thank you, Mr. Moon. Anyone else wishing to address the council on any item that it doesn't appear on the green agenda? Hearing and seeing no one, council will move on to reports from the mayor and other city officials, which we don't have any at the moment. And so items 1 through 6 are listed on the consent agenda. They will be voted on as one item. This does not mean that they are any less important than the other items, but they have been determined not to be controversial in nature. Anyone moving the consent
Madam
1 through
President,
6? Yes, please go
I'd be
right.
happy to offer an approving resolution for the consent agenda.
Thank you.
Support.
Thank you. Councilman Jolly, supported by Councilman Barr. Alrighty. If there's no comments from the council or the audience, would the clerk please take the roll?
Councilmember McIntyre.
Aye.
Councilmember Meekin.
Aye.
Vice President Jolly.
Aye.
Councilmember Kritzman.
Aye.
Councilmember Barr.
Aye.
Councilmember White.
Aye.
President Toy.
Aye, motion passes. Council, we're on, under unfinished business, item 7. It's a proposed special assessment for street lighting project brought to us from the engineering division. This is to determine necessity. Is there any movement on
President.
this? Yes, please.
I move the necessity of this special assessment district.
Support.
Moved by Councilman Meekin, supported by Councilwoman White. Was there discussion, council? Was there any discussion from the audience? Hearing and seeing no discussion from the audience, will the clerk please take the roll on item 7?
Councilmember McIntyre.
Aye.
Councilmember Meekin.
Aye.
Vice President Jolly.
Aye.
Councilmember Kritzman.
Aye.
Councilmember Barr.
Aye.
Councilmember White.
Aye.
President Toy.
Aye, motion passes. Thank you, council. Item 8 is an application for commercial rehab exemption certificate. This is, the public hearing was held on August 21st. There's a resolution of A to approve with 7 years and B would deny. Councilwoman McIntyre.
Madam Toy, Madam President,
Yes, please go ahead.
Madam President Toy. I would like to please offer Resolution A to approve it for 7 years.
Thank you. We have a motion on the floor of A. Do we have support?
Support.
Supported by Councilman Meekin. Was there discussion?
Madam President,
Yes, go right ahead, Vice President Jolly.
so this is something that concerns me more than most items we've had before us here in the last couple of years. This is a private commercial entity that wants to build a hotel here in the city of Livonia and wants public assistance through tax breaks to do so. Somewhere in the neighborhood of $1 million, give or take a little bit. We have a site in Livonia off Schoolcraft Road, which by all accounts is run down and vacant. But we also have multiple hotels that are going up currently in the city of Livonia. We have one that just opened up on 6 Mile, a new Holiday Inn. We have another hotel that's potentially going to be built next door to that Holiday Inn. On Victor Parkway, we have a new A-loft that's going in. And we've also had several new hotels built on Schoolcraft Road within a couple miles, within a mile in some cases, of this proposed site. I don't think it's the job of the Livonia taxpayers to supplement the profit margin for these gentlemen who want to build this hotel. This is one of these things where these gentlemen, by their own account at the public hearing, own, I think it's 5 hotels they've built and operated. This here is supposed to be a higher-end hotel that will be for extended stay guests. And frankly, if the numbers don't work, I don't think Livonia's in a place where we need to be subsidizing this type of project. This is nothing that is unique. It's nothing that nobody else wants to do throughout the community, and it's nothing that hasn't been done and is currently in the works elsewhere. When we start offering tax breaks such as this, we set a precedent. The precedent is that if you want to do business in Livonia, the taxpayer is going to help you out. In this case, I absolutely think this is ridiculous. And I think Livonia taxpayers, whether they be residents or commercial property owners, should be alarmed if this passes. Thank you.
Thank you. Were there further comments or, yes, go right ahead, Councilman Kritzman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is an item that's come before us before, and I don't think we had all the information then, and while we did get a little more information today, I still don't feel as though I'm necessarily prepared to refute anything that Mr. Jolly has said, and at the same time, I don't know that I can affirm what has been supported in other motions. I believe there is a place for tax incentives in our community and in our approach to economic development. These things exist for a reason, but those reasons are spelled out. And I think as you sit and evaluate the validity of a request like this, you have to look at what those reasons are and look at legitimate numbers and try and make a decision as to whether or not they are appropriate and something that should be utilized in our community. Not every project pursues these incentives, but that doesn't necessarily mean that there isn't a place for them. So I actually think we should be spending a little more time looking at this and looking a little bit deeper. And with that, I'd like to offer a substitute resolution to send this to the committee of the whole.
Support.
And I have support on the substitute. Was there discussion on the substitute? That's on the floor at the moment.
Madam President?
Correct, Mr. Palmentary? Yes. Go right ahead, Councilman Barr.
Okay. Yeah, Brandon referred to it. I think when we look, I do think there's a place for incentives. I've struggled during my time on council. For me, consistency is a big thing. When you're looking at being a city that encourages economic development, I think developers, business owners are looking for consistency. So with that, I've struggled with two approaches with these. One is the approach of an incentive is an incentive, and you only use it when there's something that wouldn't otherwise go there. That would be approach A. Approach B would say, we're a landlocked, fully developed city. In most cases, you're going to have significant expenses with redeveloping a piece of property. We want to take a more aggressive approach to economic development, and we want to offer these across the board. Maybe across the board is a strong term, but fairly liberally, if you will. I think the comment was made earlier, there's not precedent for this. I don't think that's accurate. I actually think there's a lot of precedent for this. In fact, so much so that I think we've almost taken approach B as a city. So that would lead me, and I do think that the proposal for this site is an excellent use for this site. It's something that excites me. I think it would be good for our city on a number of levels. That being said, I think, as Councilman Kritzman said, there's some things I'd like to better understand. One, we just got some numbers here tonight as to what some of the extraordinary costs are purported to be for developing this site. It's very high level. We just got it right before the meeting. Haven't had a chance to search it out at all. I'd like a chance to do that. And then the other thing that concerns me a little bit is, while I really like the renderings that we have here, we don't have anything more than this is the type of thing we'd like to do. I would hope that if we can put this into study, that we could see something more representative of a site plan. And then ultimately, if this were to go forward after going through all that process, I would want to see this incentive conditional on this type of use. So those are just some of my thoughts. I would support this going into committee for further study. I do like the project, but as far as what form that incentive takes, I'd like to study it further.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman McIntyre.
I won't be supporting the substitute resolution. I offered the resolution I did for the reason I'm a stalwart defender of taxpayer money in this community. I think anyone who watched my record knows how I feel about wise expenditure of taxpayer money. There are tax incentives that are available to communities for the reason of spurring appropriate economic development. When you have a site that has been and with all due respect to the beauty school that's been there, that has lain fallow for, the last time I can remember there being a restaurant there in a thriving business area was at least 25 years ago. And when you have land that is vacant and not generating, and we talk a lot in this community about the highest and noble use of property. And sometimes you need to use the tools that are available to you to get the highest and best use. And Mr. Taramina was asked a number of years ago when we had a similar kind of discussion and a little bit of loggerheads about whether incentives should be granted. It was asked if Mr. Taramina could put together some guidelines for economic development incentives, and he did that. And people seek formulas, right, that you offer this incentive if it meets all this criteria. The art of economic development, it is both an art and a science. And we want to be very careful in awarding incentives. We don't want to award incentives just because we like the people or we think it's a good project. But we want to award incentives in order to get land, desirable land that needs a little help to get it to its highest and best use. And that's my reason, and this has been offered was at the study meeting, we had a public hearing on it. There was no one at the public hearing to speak against it. And so I'm not supporting putting it back into committee. I think we've had a lot of time to look at this. I think we've had clear guidelines and lots of opportunity to consider this, and lots of opportunity to look at what has been land that has not been put to productive economic use.
Thank you. Ms. Taramina, when we do things like this, they're not required to have any kind of sign on that property to say that there may be a rehab district and/or a possible rezone or whatever, so the public is informed of that, correct? Other than what we do?
In the case of a rezoning, yes. In the case of commercial rehabilitation exemption certificate, there is no requirement for posting the sign on the property.
Certainly. So right now, no one would know about this except for what we do in the newspaper and what we do on the council as well, correct?
I believe all of the taxing authorities were
Would have a notice.
notified
Okay.
for the public hearing and had an opportunity to speak out on this issue,
Okay, the taxing, but the residents wouldn't know per se.
other than what might be published in the paper. That's
Correct. Thank you. Okay, was there further comments, questions? Oh, sure, go right ahead. Just state your name and address for the record.
Paul Bond, 41700 West 6 Mile Road, Northville, Michigan. Good evening, Council. Good evening, Council President.
Good evening.
I'm not going to reiterate everything that's been gone over in the last couple of hearings, and I do appreciate everyone's comments. I will, at least as it relates to Councilman Jolly, I think we raised last time, and we both agreed, that whether you grant an abatement on this or any other project, from a legal standpoint, there is no precedental value. It's not precedent the way you and I might understand it. I think we had that discussion. In fact, I'm certain we had that discussion when we were here last. And nonetheless, I also believe that maybe measuring twice to cut once. Can I ask a question? How soon would a study session be able to be had of this committee? And then how soon would it be brought back to council? And the purpose of my asking, there's a cost to holding this property. We have not proceeded with site planning because of the uncertainty of whether or not this incentive could be granted. So if you could maybe give me a little more understanding, because I am of the opinion that measuring twice to cut once matters. I very much appreciate Councilwoman McIntyre's support, but if it requires more time to give answers, recognizing it's a dynamic issue, and it can be accomplished in relatively short order this year, then I would certainly rather that your answers be answered. I also think the end result will be that you'll support Councilperson McIntyre's motion. So if there's a higher outcome of that happening, and it can be done in a timely fashion, so I can advise my client, so if you can give me some insight on that, that would be helpful.
I understand, Mr. Bowman.
Thank you.
I have to, if it comes to the committee of the whole, and that's where the motion is that Mr. Kritzman made, I would determine, along with our legislative director, what kind of proper notice we have to give within so many days to so many entities, et cetera. Right now, we have at least 2 to 3 public, or committee of the whole scheduled, I believe, is that correct? In the next month and a half, or 2 months, I should say. So that takes us into probably close to November. We're certainly not gonna do it the first week of November, no offense. We will probably wait till right after that, we could do it that Wednesday or the following week, if you will. But short of that, that's kind of, other people have commitment, and then the timeline that we have to give notice, and anything else, Judy, that we need to consider as we're setting those? That's about it, right? Right, okay. If that helps you in any way.
Well, and then
Yeah.
the follow-up question is, because the folks that we've been talking to are these council people, and there's a certain continuity in explaining these issues, and without wanting to recreate the wheel, I'd like to know whether this can be accomplished with the same group, or if I'll be looking at a new group of faces.
Well, we will definitely, no, it'll be done, I'm sure, before the end of the year.
Okay.
Unless this council deems otherwise, but in all seriousness, perhaps somewhere we can fit you in, but right now, I think that's our schedule without looking at it more, and Judy will look for that for us tomorrow, right? Okay. And Councilman Jolly wanted to speak, if I may.
Thank you, Madam President. I have a couple questions to direct to Mr. Taramina. So this, largely because we have to, right? This is one of the small, well, very few parcels of land in the city of Livonia that are currently zoned to be able to house adult entertainment, correct?
This property is zoned C3, which is classified as our highway business district. That contains a number of land uses, both permitted, which a hotel falls under the category of a permitted use. The question of adult entertainment, there are provisions in the special use section of the C3 district regulations that speak to that issue. But it's certainly a use that would have to go through a full review and vetting process.
So we would have to have a separate vote on that later on, is that correct? If that were, and I bring this up because, Mr. Bond has said that his clients have not invested any money in a site plan as of yet. Fine and well, I understand their perspective, but they're asking us for tax breaks before they've invested money in a site plan. The way I look at the zoning map for the city, what you say is correct. I want to make sure that that's, although they're not proposing to use it in that way, and I fully admit that, and I'm not trying to insinuate that they are, but at the same time, they have not presented a site plan, and they want to put a hotel on this piece of property. So what process would they have to, or would any other individual have to go through if they wanted to use some sort of adult entertainment? Would that come back to council for a separate vote to approve or deny that?
Absolutely. I will tell you that approval of a commercial rehabilitation exemption certificate is based upon the application that is before you, which is very specific to the hotel use. So your approval of that application limits the use and the use of the CREC to the hotel only. And in conversations with the law department, we can further supplement the resolution by being more specific in terms of compliance with both the application and the intended use of the property.
And I can feel absolutely confident on speaking on behalf of the Nofars and their family that any such use like that would never occur on this property or any other that they own or control. And if you needed that in writing as part of an agreement, we would offer that, of course. I mean, but it's a fair question.
Thank you.
Madam President?
Yes, please, go right ahead.
Through the chair to Mark. Mark, did I understand you correctly that as this is written, and if Paul needs to weigh in this, fine, that this already ties it to this use? I had made the comment earlier about.
Yes, it does. And again, to expand on that comment, not just the Nofar entities, but the Staybridge entity would require that to be the case in any franchise agreement. But again, to Councilperson Barr's question, there are other possibly issues that would be embodied in a tax abatement agreement as would be traditional in any circumstance, and we would expect those conditions.
Thank you, Mr. Bond, and while I recognize your expertise on the subject, I was actually referring to Paul Bernier. So I'm gonna look to Paul Bernier and say, can you confirm what he just said?
I will confirm what Mr. Bond said, and the certificate can't be transferred without council approval either.
Or the state approval as well.
So it's not, it cannot just be transferred. if they want to transfer it to another entity. And the council can always revoke it if they have done something that is not in compliance with what the resolution was. So there's a process for council, for the legislative body to revoke the certificate also.
I need to take a moment to explain something, because I'm going to do something that I don't think I've ever done before, and that's I'm not going to support the very substitute resolution that I just seconded. This right here is all my pros and cons for this tonight, and all my reasoning on this. And as I'm listening to the discussion, noticing a couple things here as I was walking in tonight that I wasn't even thinking of, as well as some of the comments have been made, I'm prepared to support what Councilwoman McIntyre's offered. Thanks.
Okay, so he has withdrawn his support for committee of the whole.
Madam Chair,
Yes, go right ahead, Councilman Kritzman.
I will in turn withdraw my resolution as well.
Good, okay. And if I may just share with council, and Judy, correct me, because you don't have, I know your notes here, but if we were to do anything, the only date we have open was the 23rd of October, I saw on my calendar, when it didn't concern council business, or whatever. Anyhow, we don't have to worry about that, because they just withdrew their motion, but just so, yeah, we're pretty packed up.
Madam Chair?
Yes, please, go ahead.
I walked in this morning thinking, or this evening thinking that I could not support this, but as I look at the budget that was provided, and I think about the fact that this property, the current condition of the property, and the fact that I would like to see redevelopment there, I'm prepared to support the resolution as well.
Thank you. Thank you. Any others? Okay, so we have a motion on the floor from Councilwoman McIntyre for approving and supported by Councilman Meekin. Alrighty, is there any discussion from the audience? You are all set, Mr. Bond?
Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Okay, if hearing and seeing none, would the clerk please take the roll, or the vote, excuse me, on the approving?
Councilmember McIntyre?
Aye.
Councilmember Meekin?
Aye.
Vice President Jolly?
No.
Councilmember Kritzman?
Aye.
Councilmember Barr?
Aye.
Councilmember White?
Aye.
President Toy?
No, motion passes.
Thank you, everyone.
Certainly. Okay, item 9, council, is a rezoning petition. This is brought to us from Ryan Kresge to rezone properties located on the west side of Middle Belt Road between Joy Road and West Chicago Road in the southeast quarter of Section 35 from C1 to R1. Public hearing was held on August 21st.
Madam President?
Yes, go right ahead.
I believe I offered the approving at the public hearing, so I'll
Right,
offer the approval
first
on this
reading?
one.
First reading?
First reading,
Yeah,
yes.
okay. You have first reading on item 9. I want to share with you that we're going to receive and place on file the letter dated August the 22nd of this year from the Department of Law. Okay, great, all right. Item 10 then is a rezoning petition from the Planning Commission, petition 2019-06-0105, submitted by Devon Custom Construction to rezone the property located on the west side of Farmington Road between the CSX Railroad right-of-way and Schoolcraft Road in the northeast quarter of Section 28 from M1 to C2. Public hearing was held on August 21st. We're going to receive and file the communication from August 22nd, Madam Clerk, from the Department of Law. Do I have a motion?
Madam President,
Yes, go right ahead. It's a first reading, actually.
I'll offer first reading on this.
Thank you. Councilman Barr has offered first reading. You've heard first reading. Is there anyone else commenting on this? If not, we're going to go under new business. New business is item 11. It's acceptance of a grant of easement from the Department of Law. Do I have direction?
Madam Chair,
Yes, go right ahead.
I'll offer an approving resolution.
Thank you. You've heard approving resolution. Do I have support on the approving? Supported by Councilman Barr. Was there discussion? Hearing no discussion, anyone from the audience? Seeing and hearing no one from the audience, would the clerk take the roll?
Councilmember McIntyre?
Aye.
Councilmember Meekin,
Aye.
Vice President Jolly,
Aye.
Councilmember Kritzman,
Aye.
Councilmember Barr,
Aye.
Councilmember White,
Aye.
President Toy.
Aye, motion passes. Item 12 is a request on subject matter of scheduling from Vice President Jolly to the administration and the Department of Law. Mr. Bernier, would you like to? Oh, go right ahead.
I will offer a denying motion on this.
Okay, Councilman Jolly has offered a 9. Do I have
Support.
support?
Madam President, if I can address this shortly.
Please, go right ahead.
This is something that had been addressed just by way of conversation to improve process efficiencies with our study and regular meetings.
Yes.
Although I think the question is important and valid, Mr. Bernier and his staff at the Law Department turned around a response with the appropriate legal research in record time within a matter of days, so it is a moot point, and we have the information that I was originally seeking. So I thank them for their effort and their work, but there's no point to approve this.
If I might, I want to apologize. We didn't go through the ordinary course. I asked Mr. Neville to research this, and Mr. Neville got right on it and did it really quick and didn't go through the proper procedure like we normally would through Ms. Prevey and directly sent it. Both shows our efficiencies, and we went around the process, so I apologize on that, but thank you.
And Leo probably did it with a smile on his face the whole time.
Leo is a charm, and he does everything with a smile on his face.
Oh, I thought you were scared that you were going to have to go to more meetings or something.
No.
I'm just joking.
No, love these meetings.
See, I knew I'd get him
Gotta
to say
question
it.
everything you said.
Well, thank you for expediency, thank you, if that's even a word. Anyhow, is there any other comment? No? Anyone from the audience wishing to speak to item 12? Hearing and seeing no one, will the clerk take the roll then?
Really quick, who was the support?
Support was Barr.
That's me.
Thank you.
Certainly.
Councilmember McIntyre,
Okay, can we just clarify? We are
Denying.
supporting the denying resolution. Okay.
Correct.
Aye. Thank you.
Councilmember Meekin,
Aye.
Vice President Jolly,
Aye.
Councilmember Kritzman,
Aye.
Councilmember Barr,
Aye.
Councilmember White,
Aye.
President Toy.
Aye, motion passes. Council, I need a motion to suspend the rules so we can consider some negotiations.
So moved.
Thank you. We have a so moved double, and supported by Barr, moved by Kritzman. All right, can the clerk take the vote?
Councilmember McIntyre,
Aye.
Councilmember Meekin,
Aye.
Vice President Jolly,
Aye.
Councilmember Kritzman,
Aye.
Councilmember Barr,
Aye.
Councilmember White,
Aye.
President Toy.
Aye, motion passes. Council, we're on X1. This is an additional item because the law office had called us. They need to schedule a closed committee of the whole meeting from our Department of Law for purpose of discussing pending litigation, attorney-client privilege.
So moved, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you. Moved by Councilwoman White, supported by Councilman Kritzman. There isn't any discussion, I would think, and is there anyone from the audience wishing to speak to this item? Hearing and seeing no one, would you take the vote on X1?
Councilmember McIntyre,
Aye.
Councilmember Meekin,
Aye.
Vice President Jolly,
Aye.
Councilmember Kritzman,
Aye.
Councilmember Barr,
Aye.
Councilmember White,
Aye.
President Toy.
Aye, motion passes. We're under audience communication. Anyone wishing to speak to the council on this time, at this time, for anything that wasn't on the green agenda, please approach the podium to my left or right. We'll be happy to hear your comments. Good evening, sir.
Hello. Forgive me, I haven't been to too many of these meetings, so I'm Ryan Kresge at 8999 Middle Belt. I was item number 9 in the unfinished business. I was asked to come to this meeting. I was not at the last one for last month. I just didn't quite understand where we stood on this at this time.
Yeah, you were approved
Okay,
on item 9.
okay.
That's good. Yes, go right ahead.
Just point of clarification, there's one more step with that, and that will be second reading, which will
Right,
occur in, I
right.
think, 2 weeks. So
2
then
weeks,
then it'll
yeah.
be finalized.
Okay, and am I required to come to that meeting as well?
It's always helpful.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay, certainly. Thank you, Mr. Kresge. Okay, is there anyone else wishing to come? Okay, real good. I don't see anyone. Council, your pleasure about adjournment?
Move to adjourn, Madam President.
Vice President Jolly's moved to adjourn. Is there support? Support. Supported by Councilman Kritzman. I think you can show 7 safely, and we'll be back by 8 o'clock. Thank you. We're adjourned.